Today we're going to be talking about PS5 and Xbox Series X launch reviews. Let's get to the video. Hey everybody, it is Lavon Cason here, back at it again with another video. So the PS5 has been reviewed, the Xbox Series X has been reviewed, and the Xbox Series S has been reviewed. The verdict for the Xbox Series X is that it is powerful. It's the most powerful system, but it does not have any hardware. In the PS5, it has been reviewed as well, and the verdict has been as a true next-generation system. It has games to play, it has the next-gen feeling and stuff like that. Now, to me, this isn't really surprising. It's really not. I mean, people have been saying that the Xbox Series X, it's powerful hardware. Yes, definitely. But it just doesn't have the games. I mean, people in this community have been saying that for months. In fact, you can even go back to the Xbox One X, it has powerful hardware, but it does not have the games. It does not have the software to showcase that 6 teraflops of power. The Xbox Series X does not have the software to showcase that 12 teraflops of power. PS5 has games that showcase that power, such as, Spider-Man Miles Morales, Demon Souls, Sackboy. I mean, yes, some of those games are on PS4. Yes, there's games out there to play for people that want the new system. And that is the problem with Xbox. It doesn't have any big bangers. It doesn't have any, wordy software to where, you know what? I'm going to pick me up an Xbox Series X. You know what? I'm going to pick me up a Xbox Series S. Like, it doesn't have that title that makes you say that, pretty much. PlayStation 5 has games that'll make you say, you know what, I'm going to pick up a PlayStation 5 day one. The point is, people are just going to pick up that new console just to play that new game. Right now, when you really think about it, the Xbox Series S and X of consoles are really a tough sell, because you can play all those third-party games on your Xbox One, your Xbox One X, your PC. You can play those third-party games on the PS4, the PS5, and heck, maybe a couple of those games, you can play them on the Switch. So it is really hard to sell someone on an Xbox series of consoles. Where the PS5, it's a way lot easier to sell them on that system, because it does have games that are worthy of playing on that console, such as Demon Souls. But do I think that the Xbox Series X will have games eventually? Yes, definitely. As far as launch goes, PS5 has that unlocked. But as far as, 2 to 3 years from now, that may be determined. Xbox could come back strong. PlayStation could stay, maintaining its greatness in 2 years. I mean, who knows? Be surprised, Sony guys, if Microsoft, once they get software rolling out in 2022 and to be consistent for the next, 6-7 years, having consistent exclusive software. Don't be surprised, Sony guys. Don't be surprised. At Xbox, guys, you're going to have to realize not everybody's going to be buying a new system and going back and playing old games. Yes, that don't bother me. I don't mind going back and playing old games on a new system, but not everybody's like that. There's a lot of people out there that wants to get a new system to play new games. Man, I've been looking back at these launch lineup for some of these great systems, such as, PS1, PS3, and, even the Wii. And those launch lineups, when you really think about it, they weren't all that. They weren't anything special. They weren't anything to be saying greatness or anything like that. They were mediocre launch lineups. I mean, look at PlayStation 1's launch titles. I mean, I'm on Games Radar, as you can see here. Air Combat, Battle Area, Toshinden, ESPN Extreme Games, NBA Jam Tournament Edition, which was probably close to the arcade. Rayman, you know, that was probably a good game. Ridge Racer, you know, that was on there. Street Fighter, the movie, like, come on. The PS1 launch line wasn't all that, but yet it outsold the N64. And it took all of Nintendo's third-party support. I mean, let's look at the PS3. I mean, it had Call of Duty 3. It had Marvel Ultimate Alliance. It had Need for Speed Carbon. It had Resistance Fall Man. It had Ridge Racer 7. It had that game. It had Tony Hawk Project 8. It had Tiger Woods PGA Tour 07. I mean, the PS3 launch lineup was not all that, but at a certain point, you know, it started to catch up to the 360 because of Uncharted 2. And then it just kept on going and going as far as making those great banger exclusives. I mean, let's look at the Nintendo Switch. All it had was just Zelda, I think Super Bomberman, Just Dance, a Skylander game. And yet, look at the Switch now. Look at it now, people. It's selling like 68 million. My main point is that while yes, launch lineups, you know, do tell something. Like, example, the Xbox Series X, you know, it doesn't have any, you know, amazing launch games or anything like that. It doesn't have, you know, a launch game that showcased the great power of those 12 T-flops of the Xbox Series X. Is it over? Is it the end of the Xbox Series X because it doesn't really have any launch games like that? Probably not. It'll probably take a couple years, but then once those couple years have passed by, it'll probably have a pretty good lineup of games, pretty much. I mean, the same thing could be said with the PS5. Yes, it has a pretty good launch lineup of exclusives, yes. But, I mean, hey, PS5 exclusives could get worse or something like that. But even though, realistically, PS5 will sell more than the Xbox Series X, I mean, it's obvious. But my main point is launch lineups don't tell the whole story. It only tells a part of the story, not the whole story. It's going to be all about what's going to be happening 2 years from now, 3 years from now, 4 years from now. That is what it's going to be about. It's going to be about the long-term game. It's going to be about long-term investment. When you're paying $500 for these consoles, you're doing it for the long-term investment. You're doing it for the long game. Not the short-term game, but the long game. That's pretty much it for this video. And what do you guys think? Do you guys think that launch lineups make or break a system? Let me know in the comment section below. I mean, look at the Dreamcast. The Dreamcast had a great launch lineup, and yet it failed. Let me know in the comment section below, and peace.